because she could have ate at his ego. She could have been like, really, bro, you ain't got enough money with that fake ruby pendant on your chain. But she didn't. She left that boy. She said, because you're if you have a basketball empire, the chances of having a basketball empire is the chances of me growing wings and flying out of space. But hey, I appreciate her being really nice. She clocked the apartment. She's I can tell that she's dated some very well-to-do people in her lifetime. I can tell it. Her issue is again. Let me not be critical. Let me just get back on Devin. Devin doesn't have the capabilities or the criteria to be with Virginia. He don't have the financial aspect, which is the biggest one for her to feel secure. And so that's why she got the prenup thing. She clocked his apartment, and even him, he was getting a tad bit insecure when he clocked her townhome. He was like, and then when they started talking about the finances, about how I got just a little bit of debt, I got medical bills, this, that, and the third. He was getting a little insecure, but she did a really good job and kept her a really feminine frame of reassuring that it wasn't going to be an issue, although it is an issue. All I'm saying is I'm wondering why she ain't been able to keep these people that she has been dated in the past, because she's been a dancer. She's super well educated, this, that, and the third. And I'm not trying to tear her down, but something ain't adding. The 1 + 1 ain't equal 2 with Virginia. And that's what we need to get to. Because Devin, I think he is a great guy, but I think Virginia, as soon as she saw his living arrangements and him starting to talk about stuff, she was like, yeah, let me go ahead and get this prenup down and get this thing going.
So Devin with the ibuprofen addiction is a good guy. Okay. All right. If you don't stop it, oh my days. My face is too puffy for this. Anywho, I'm not mad at her in this. She wants a prenup. Protect yourself, protect your peace, and protect your money from this man trying to pay off his student loan, his medical bills, and his shoe addiction outside of the ibuprofen that does not exist. Okay, there's no such thing as an ibuprofen addiction. But outside of all of that, protect yourself or whatever. And it's puzzling that everybody is looking at this as, oh, she's looking for an out. No, it's the same reason you get insurance in the first place. You just protecting yourself of the what if. You got to get car insurance, you get medical insurance, you get all these other things. So prenup is just an insurance plan on in case something happens. So therefore, y'all can sit there and negotiate how y'all want it to be broken down or whatever. It is not a bad idea. So the sister putting a bad seed in his head. Why? Because what if he does magically does get his industry and all this stuff like that? You're gonna want him to be protected. You're not gonna want her to get anything and walk away with half of his stuff or whatever, and everything makes no sense. I don't agree with you on the dad part or whatever. I think the dad was just super quiet or whatever. I think the dad is kind of like one of those dads that just kind of like leave me out of it. You making your decisions at this point. Just do whatever you gonna do or whatever. I'm just here because so I don't get fined, But this dude, like, you got a lot going on, and the fact that you look some type of way when she said prenup after you just got through telling her that you got all these bills, and yeah, we should go 50-50 on it. You gonna help because that's what a marriage is about, right? Helping me pay my bills off, right? Like, I didn't help you make these bills, bro. Like, okay, so I give her power to sit there and say, yeah, I'm willing to help you pay some of your bills and all that stuff and get you back on track. I'm not mad at her for being invested into her relationship like that, or even mad about going 50-50 on bills and however they break down the household responsibilities. I'm not mad at none of that stuff. But the fact that he's sitting here looking for somebody to finance, that's what it was definitely giving me. Like, he looking for somebody to finance his debt is wild to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have a plan on how you gonna get that out the way yourself. You shouldn't be sitting here waiting for me to sit there and be like, I can help you pay off some of this stuff. Especially when you got a shoe addiction.
I think those things both don't add up, Jay. I think that
what don't add up? What's the things?
I don't think that him wanting somebody to pay off his debt or anything like that. If he's saying what is true, one, we don't know Virginia's financial situation because she didn't say much of anything. She was very intentful in listening, which again goes to her overall aura of her just listening and not really saying much. But to have a master's and a doctorate, that costs a lot of money. Who's saying that she's paid it off in full? We don't know what kind of again, she says she's in HR. We don't know what level and how far her salary has gotten to. We don't know much about her finances.
But what we do know is what was said. And what was said is, I'll help you pay your stuff off or whatever. He didn't say we can figure out how we gonna pay this off. It wasn't no we like y'all like to speak up here all the time or whatever. It was looking at her while she sat there and said, it's cool, I'll help you get your stuff back in order.
She never said he would get it back in order. She was just saying that she would help supplement them as many people do. I mean, granted, these are a different day and age.
Supplement and help. You just want to change the words, but it's mean the same thing. I'm
fronting your bill. No, this is. I don't think this is any different conversation as if it was a man who was wondering about what kind of debt, if it was credit card debt or student loan debt or anything like that. I think these are great conversations to have, but this is also a different day and age where women are making more money, enrolled in schools and stuff like that. And so now we're starting to see it on the other end, and we're like, oh, and a lot of more women are like, this makes a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and do a prenup. Whereas back in the day, it was kind of frowned upon, or it was a point of contention for relationships to bring out a prenup.
Yeah, what that still has to do with her sitting here saying I'm gonna front the bill, and he not sitting there saying, no, it's okay, sis, I got my thing. I'm making my payments.
Because it's never been like that. It's never been.
She said she was financially responsible. She's good with the finances. She don't have no problem with it. That's what she said. So we don't have to worry about what's going on in her pockets. Y'all, that man pocket watching like you pocket watching her. Like, bruh, he need a pocket watch himself. You want to buy shoes every 2 to 3 months or whatever, or twice a month or whatever he said he want to do, but you still got your student loans and a medical bill that you got. You better go pawn them shoes and go pay off them bills.
All right.
Listen, send Virginia my way. I'll sign the prenup. I'll sign the post-nup. I'll sign the pre to the prenup. Whatever nup she want me to sign, I'm going to sign it. I'm down for it. I love me some Virginia. I love her attitude, her energy. Sign me up.
I don't know, Jay. I mean, I didn't, listening to them talk, I agree with you. I feel like he's bad with money, clearly. I mean, we're looking at about 10 grand worth of shoes while he's talking about he's in debt. But at the same time, he also didn't force the conversation. He didn't tell her what she needed to do. She's the one who brought up going 50-50 and helping pay towards the bills. I didn't get the impression, correct me if I'm wrong here, I did not get the impression that he was looking to her to help him in that space. And also, I feel like when you are getting married, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. So I do think the default expectation should be that we're going to pool our money together to help pay down debt, unless you specifically say otherwise. And it's cool if you don't want to do that, but that needs to be stated before y'all decide that y'all going to sign on the dotted line.
I can't correct you because you got the impression, and that's going to be your impression. So I can't correct nobody's impression of what they got. But she sat there and said, we're going to have separate bank accounts. That man gave a look like, what? Ain't got no access to your money. She said prenup. He gave another hesitation look like, I ain't got no access to your money. So y'all, you get the impression that you want, and I got the impression that I want. So there it is.
I'm okay to be corrected. I didn't. That's not how it looked on the screen to me. I mean, maybe conversations were had off screen about the kind of finances that they have. I don't freaking know.
Can I ask another question? Why every time black men are on this screen, they're broke? I'm just tired of this. I'm just tired of this representation. Every single time black men are on the screen, they're broke. And then if they're not broke, they're acting like Mr. What the hell?
Tyler?
No, he was broke too. The one that told the fiance he didn't want her. Y'all know who I'm talking about. No,
SK.
not Chris. No, not SK.
Clay.
Who you say?
Clay.
Clay. Yeah, then they acting a fool like Clay. But it's just, I'm just so tired. I want to see equally yoked
Black men don't need to be on these shows. You're gonna get
Brett and Tiffany. Let's not.
Yeah, like Brett and Tiffany. Like, why can't we get more Brett and Tiffany?
They're older. I don't think you're gonna find any. Like, I would. There's no point in going on a show like that if you're like a like lower in your 20s, mid 20s, early 30s type of person.
That's a good point.
It's an age thing. By the time Brett was in the Pacific Northwest, so there's not a lot of Black people. This is probably more of a way of like connecting him with somebody who he wanted to intentionally date. If I was somebody who's attractive, has the financial means, I have no reason to be on the show, which goes to my point. If I see somebody who doesn't look like they need to be on the show, most more times than none, they don't need to be on the show. So that's why I'm wondering about Virginia. Because
I mean,
you know what time it is.